Marc, or should I say hola, Marc?
Hola.
Thank you so much for joining me today. How are you?
Thank you for having me, and I'm very fine.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that. Well, let's go ahead and dive right in. You've got a fascinating story, and I want to learn more about it. So tell me about your business, Marc Reklau.
Okay, my business, well, it came so I'm a best-selling author. I will tell you more about that later. So when my book became a bestseller on Amazon, I started first first I could live on the book alone because it was very successful, and then with time I started building a business around it because it was all totally new for me. So
Okay.
after a while I got invited to speak in a company, and then I said, oh wow, yeah, maybe I should develop some presentations to go into companies. And I also did a little bit of one-on-one coaching because I'm a trained coach. So then my clients also came through the book. So
Okay.
little by little, I was building more things up on the way, because I could never imagine to be a trainer in a company or a speaker.
Right.
But then they kept calling me, and then I did it, and I was like, oh, that's nice, and it also pays well. So let's build something around that.
Right.
So, and I also help people. That's another side of my business. Separate side is I help people to also upload their books, to publish their books on Amazon and create space worldwide.
Got it. Got it. So you kind of have a little bit of publishing house as well. So let's
Yeah.
let's let's go and pause because I want to learn more about the specifics of you having this best-selling book. What is the specific problem that you solve for the people that you serve?
I help people to create better habits.
Okay.
My book's title is also 30 Days, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life.
Okay.
Because, yeah, many times we want change, and we want a big change, and we don't really know how to get it. So I was
Right.
studying that, and at the end, every process of change is a process of changing habits. So
Right.
you change your whole life by starting to change little things. So with my coaches, we start like that. We start very small, on their way to a goal, and then we every week we change little things, and these little things over 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, they sometimes they sum up to something great.
Right. Right. For sure. Now, what made you decide that you were going to be the one to solve this problem?
Yeah, actually, it's fun. I didn't decide it. I just wrote a book, and then everything happened on the way. So it's very funny. I never had the big picture. Now I have it, but I didn't have it. I just always knew what is the next step,
Okay.
which is also very good in the whole business. So when you're an entrepreneur, it's good to have your global plan, but many times it works out differently than you thought.
Right.
But the most important thing is always that you know your next step. And sometimes when I'm blocked, for example, or I don't know what to do, I always say, okay, calm down. What is the next step you can do? And like this, I get out of the procrastination and all this.
For sure.
So I wrote the book, and the idea was I read, because we all read many books, we all want change, but sometimes change is so difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to find a way to make change more simple for
Okay.
people.
Okay. And that was the
Yes.
premise behind it. So we were talking a little bit because I'm curious how you got to the point of starting a book. So I know a lot of people have a desire to write a book. And then I'm guessing was this your first book that became a bestseller?
It was my first book.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It
So
was incredible.
so tell me about whenever you quit your job. What was that like? Did your book become a bestseller? Then you quit? Like, how was the process for you? How did it
I'm
work?
gonna tell you, yeah, I was actually let go from
Okay.
my job because I was responsible of the German market in Spain for a family enterprise, and the market didn't go well anymore because Spain was in a crisis for a long time.
Okay.
So there was one time where they couldn't hold me any longer. I said, Mark, we are sorry, you have to go. I was kind of prepared. I saw it coming, and I had my coaching training.
Okay.
So um, in Europe, it's good that if you have worked for a company for 10 years, they pay you a great severance package. You get
Okay.
money from the state. And I had some money tucked away also. So I knew I had enough money to survive for 2 years.
Okay.
And so I started out with the idea to build up a coaching business. I was quite naive. I said, yeah, that's easy. I should get 10 clients in no time. It wasn't so easy.
Okay. Okay.
And I was studying a lot, I was reading a lot, and then funnily, I always saw that all the personal development books, they have like some things are always the same, like write down your goals, be grateful, and all this. And they always say, if you do it for 30 days, your life will change. But nobody does it for 30 days because we don't have time.
Right.
So I didn't have this excuse anymore when I was jobless. So I said, okay, I will try it. And I wrote down my goals. I wrote down things I'm grateful for. I did my morning walk. I did a morning ritual. And then suddenly really things started to change. And then I got this idea. I said, okay, I'm a coach. I'm jobless. I need a book. A coach needs a book.
Okay.
When is there a better time to write a book than now? Because I still had the jobless money. Because I said, okay, once that is over, then I really don't have the time to write. Then I have to go search clients. So I just started writing, published the book on Amazon. Nothing happened for half a year or 7-8 months. And then I got on a Amazon promotion. And in one day I had 40,000 downloads.
Oh my gosh.
And then everything changed. And for me, it was a magical day. I will still remember it. It was the 31st of March, 2015. And after this day, everything changed. Before that day, I maybe sold 10, 20 books a month.
Okay.
After that day, I sold 100 books a day. So it was amazing. I was suddenly up in the Amazon charts next to all my heroes, Jack Canfield and Tim Ferriss and David Allen. So everything changed. So that's how it happened. And then, like I said in the beginning, step by step, I started building things around it. I also did what everybody tells you, like do an online training. I have online courses and everything. So that was the last 2 years, was like a lot of things. I also co-founded a publishing house where we help people to get their books up. And now I'm cutting down again because I'm looking like, the 80-20 rule. What is 20% of your activities gives you 80% of your income. So I'm looking which are my 20%, cutting away other stuff to have more resources and more focus on the things that work.
Got it. No, that's a fascinating story. And again, congratulations on all that success that you had with your first book. Now, you mentioned your first book was all about habits. So I'm super curious. What are the habits that you have that are your foundation, that are your fuel, that keep you going?
I can tell you, and it sounds sounds strange in a chat about entrepreneur. I think the most important habit for my success is gratitude. Gratitude. A part of all the goal setting, everything. If I look at the time, because I was doing goal setting and everything before when I didn't sell books, the more grateful I got for the now, for the things, for everything I have, the more success I had. So every day since November 2013, every day I wake up, I write down 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for.
Okay.
It can be little things. Sometimes when I started, I had not much. So I said, I had a coffee in the sun. Or, wow, because I live quite close to the beach, I'm grateful that I have the beach. I'm grateful for the people. And then what happens is your focus shifts, your mind changes literally. And this is scientifically proven. What it makes you more optimistic. It makes you see more opportunities. I see opportunities everywhere now. Before I didn't, and it makes you go for things because it says a no is better than not having tried it.
Right.
So for me, I would always say the gratitude was the number one determinant of my success. And as I say it once again, it's very strange for an entrepreneur to say that because there are so much other things. But when you also study successful entrepreneurs, they always have a lot of gratitude. And then maybe gratitude as a part of a morning ritual.
Okay.
So I get up very early in the morning at 6:30. I do a walk, 30 minutes walk. I do a little meditation, 4 or 5 minutes, like just breathing or something, or guided meditation. Then I sit down and write down what I'm grateful for and what I want from this day. What would make this day great? And mostly, I already planned my day the night before. So I more or less know already what I want to do, and then I go for it.
For
It's
sure.
incredible, yeah.
Now, I'm always curious when people say they get up early and they execute this morning routine. Do you go to bed early to allow you to get up at 6:30?
Quite. So, not usually. I mean, it can be. I can go to bed at 10, but even if I go to bed at 12, I try to have like 5 to 6 hours at night, and then I take a nap in the afternoon.
Okay.
So, and this was something that always worked. And even in my work life, I did it. I slept my 6 hours per
Wow.
night, and then I did like an hour nap in the afternoon.
Wow.
And and it's also one of these habits. The afternoons changed for me
Okay.
because it's like when you take like a nap at 2 or 3, an hour. For me, it's an hour. Everybody has to find it out for themselves. I felt like new. So instead of the curve going down after the lunch break,
Right.
it was like a new start. It was like my day was like divided in two halves, and
Right.
I was a lot more productive, a lot better. So I kept with it,
Oh.
and
I feel like I
yeah,
need to try this.
yeah, really. I mean, for me, it changed also a lot. And there is because a fun thing is when you get successful, we all want success, and we work for success, and we know exactly what to do until success. But then when success comes, it's more difficult to deal with it, and usually you relax, and I relaxed a lot. So, and then I didn't do my habits anymore, and you notice it, and then suddenly there's a slump, and the work doesn't come in, and I'm like, okay, of course, I didn't keep my good habits, so I
Right.
started that again,
Right.
and it's an incredible difference. So I
Now,
am.
now you mentioned that you wrote the book, you've had this great success, and then you started getting all these opportunities. Did you ever at some point say, all right, everything's coming to me organically, but I need to put some systems in place so that I don't rely solely on the organic stuff, but I'm also making sure that I'm doing to drive the business in. Did you have
No,
to
no,
go through that process?
I have to go to that. I have to go to that. So there's things coming in, but not enough. So what I
Okay.
noticed now, also where we in Kimanzi's group, where we are, it's really I have to write 5, 10 emails a day. You have to write to people. Most of my work comes from people I already know.
Okay.
Few work comes from cold pitches.
Right.
Some work comes from from people who buy my book because I think I connect a lot.
Okay.
Because I write like I talk, So
Right, right, right.
many people wrote to me, oh, it feels like an old friend sitting next to me telling me all this. So, but yeah, when you stop, if I would stop now for 4 weeks, I think I would have to start nearly from zero again,
Okay.
So we can
Okay.
never. And I talk to many people. For example, one of my friends is one of the biggest LinkedIn specialists in the Spanish-speaking world, and he's everywhere. He has a talk every day, and he told me too. He said, "Mark, if I stop 1 month, I'm forgotten
Wow.
because somebody else will step up."
Okay.
So I have to do this. I hope it gets less at one day because now my next book comes out with a major Spanish publisher, and of course we all would like that more people call us and we have to
Right,
work a
right,
little less.
right, right.
And I'm a self-published author, so here in Spain, I see still I have to work hard for every gig. But I think when you have a major publisher behind you, then things get easier. I will let you know in
Okay.
January it will come out.
Yes, yes.
But I think at the end, the safest thing is to always go, 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 keep on working, do your stuff. So
Right.
you are also writing a lot. I'm writing a lot. So I am in this moment and this process of downsizing and really looking. I said, what always works is writing.
Right.
This is what comes most easy to me. I have a basis now. I have 5 books published and 2 more to come.
That's amazing.
So yeah, now I had the luck to find a very good foreign rights agent.
Right.
So, and that's what I said. She came home from the book fair with 30 publishers interested in my new book. That's amazing. So if I would get 10 of those, that
Right.
would already be a great start for the next year. And now I also want to, like you already do, you are my hero also
Aw.
because you work for Inc. You write for Inc. Entrepreneur. I want this too. That's another thing. So so that my work will be spread the most possible, yeah?
For sure. No, I hear you. And so it sounds like what you're saying, like because I think it's interesting. You're working to get known on a larger scale, and you said a couple of interesting things there. One, that in you're working to get your work known on a larger scale, it's something that's constant. There's like there's a consistent sort of levers that you need to pull, but you
Mm-hmm.
also, so I think that's a great point to remind people that it's not like you've arrived, like you said. You get to a point and you constantly kind of have to feed the machine, right? But
Mm-hmm.
another thing that you said was that a lot of your work comes from people that you already know. Did
Mm-hmm.
you? So what do you do? Because it's interesting. Like I think a lot of times people like to feel like they're getting work because of their merit, and they work hard and I'm great at their do. And that's not to say that if you get it because you know somebody that you aren't those things, but they kind of get you in the door. So what do you do to make sure that you're cultivating those relationships so that they actually can turn into business for you and that they can be mutually beneficial for you and the other parties?
The same that you said, like constant, constant contact, and also just asking. People are incredibly nice if you ask them, and
Yeah.
I was surprised very positively because there were people I didn't talk to in 5 years or so, and then I was contacting them again, and they are here, and it's that, yeah. So I try to have more contact now to keep the contact
Yeah.
with people, and that can be one message every now and then, or if
Right.
I find an article, send it to them, or maybe send them a book, or also put them in contact with other people that could help them. Another thing that I noticed is some when you don't go direct to the person, when you say, "Do you know somebody who
Okay.
could use this service?"
Okay.
Because then it's not so invading. But on the other hand, probably they know somebody, or probably they say, "Well, I could use it," and then
Got it.
just you have to overcome this fear of rejection. And I have to also tell you, also maybe half of people, and it's people I know, so people I studied with, people I know in my professional life, and maybe half only answers, and it's okay. And you have to get over this fear of rejection. And the best way to come over it is to write many emails and get rejected many times.
You kind of get, honestly, you get used to it, but it doesn't sting. It doesn't
It
sting
doesn't
so
hurt
much.
so much.
Yeah, you develop a thick skin for sure. I can
So
tell you, I've gotten a lot of no's.
yeah, for me it's very funny because what before for me I was very shy, and I was not able to write an email to a person I don't know, a cold pitch. But for me the cold pitches are now actually the nice ones because I don't expect anything, because
Mm-hmm.
when the closer the friends or the closer the relationships, the more there is some expectation, and
For
then
sure.
expectation can lead to frustration, but you just leave that behind you. And the thing is, go, 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 go. For me, it's always a sign if I get rejected more to do more.
Got
And
it.
I've get rejected so many times in the last 3 years, but it was good. And also from publishers, I was rejected from publishers, I was rejected from agents, but it makes you feel better than also to say now, wow, now the publishers or the agents that once didn't answer my mails, they are coming to me now and asking, because it's like, because you prove also, you have just to and with books it's like that. I just prove them my book is sellable, and then they come,
For sure.
and it's, yeah, and it's the consistency that you said, persistence, constant, and just never give up. Although as an entrepreneur you come many times so close to giving up, and it's just like, try it just one more time. Alva Edison said that. Thomas Edison said that. He said the best secret to success is to try it always one more time,
For
and
sure.
and
I
he's
love it.
right.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. What would you say are your three keys to success? I don't know if the one you just said is one of them, but what would you say are your three keys?
My three keys to success were is the gratitude. I would say integrity, honesty, yeah, and then there's persistence. I did not give up, Sonia. There was times when nobody believed in me except my mother, and I'm not sure about if my mother believed in me. She says now, but everybody else thought, oh God, now he has gone completely crazy. He's jobless. Now he talks about writing a book and making it a bestseller. And I just, when you know what it is, when you are focused, when you have a goal, it doesn't matter. Everything falls away. You're just there. And then now looking back, it's fun to look back. And I meet some people. One friend of mine, we met 4 years ago when we were jobless. and he is now a manager in a great company, and I'm a best-selling author. And I always tell him, you were one of those who thought I'm crazy, but it's okay, it's okay. And then I say, look where we are now, and this is amazing to look back and say, wow, you know.
For sure, for sure. It's a process, and I think it's an important thing to note that even when nobody else believes in you, because you may find yourself in that situation, as long as you believe in you, you can continue to go and be persistent and to do those things.
It sounds like jargon, it sounds like easy talk, but it's really like this. And when you study successful people, if it's athletes or actors or whatever, they always say the same. I believed in myself when nobody did, and it's easier said than done. But you can learn this with affirmation, with meditation, and then you're unstoppable.
For sure. I love that word. I love that word. All right. Well, Marc, this has been super cool. You've definitely had a different experience, but I'm glad to see that everybody doesn't have to follow the same path to be able to achieve the results that they want and to build the business that they love. So before I let you go, well, where can people find you and find more about your books and all that other good stuff?
My books are all on Amazon, and when you put in Marc Reklau, my name, I come up. Today I was very, very happy because I checked it today, and even if you only put in 30 days, which is the name of my book, it comes out at number 3 in Amazon.
Sweet.
At 8 million results, so that's nice. So, and then I have a couple of web pages. Good Habits Academy is my webpage, my professional webpage, where I tell a little bit about myself. And then there's marcreklau.com also, which is my other webpage where you can download some worksheets, some coaching worksheets. So that's where I lead the people from my book.
For sure. All right. Well, I'll have all the information in the show notes so people can find you easily. Before I let you go, I do have one last question just to dig inside your mind a little bit more. And that's to deliver a line from a movie that speaks to you and explain why you chose that one.
Well, that's a question. I will tell you one that I have also in the book, because in 30 days, every chapter starts with a little phrase, and this one impacted me a lot. Anthony Robbins said something similar, but this one is from The Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay.
What's it? Jordan Belfort, which you don't have to be agree on everything he did or something, but the phrase is very good. He says, the only thing standing between you and your goal is the bullshit story you keep telling yourself as to why you can't achieve it. I think it's very powerful. I think this is talking about the self-belief. It's exactly that. You have to stop telling yourself stories as to everything you can do, and change the story first in your mind, and then it will start. The more convinced you are, it will start also in the exterior world. And
for sure, I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love it whenever there's a theme that kind of plays out naturally from the course of the discussion. So this has been great. Again, Marc, muchas gracias por todo.
Gracias a ti, Sonia.